Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Good Morning Soul. And if you are not aware at this point, I decided to do my reviews a little bit differently. Instead of reviewing a TV show and doing it season by season by season and making like fucking 10 big ass videos and big ass reviews for like one show, I thought I'd just do like season reviews and then do like a collective, like, this is the total packet. Like, if I was to review every season of The Good Doctor, however many seasons it would get, I would do these little season reviews on Good Morning Soul, and then when the show is over, I would do a complete review of the entire thing. That'll be a big video. Anyway, until then, we're just doing our season reviews, and last night, I finished the fucking Good Doctor, and this is a show I've been meaning to finish for a while now. It's kind of an episodic show, so it kind of got left on the back burner. Episodic hour-long TV shows are not that great for keeping your interest fully there, especially when there's 100 other things you're trying to watch. But let's get it straight. The Good Doctor. This is a show about a doctor-surgeon who is autistic. He basically did all the requirements of being a surgical doctor, and he is ready to take that position. But the only thing is, there's a big, like, kind of what if scenario playing out. Like, can you be a doctor if you're autistic? Like, should you be working on someone's brain and potentially taking their life if your brain does not cooperate itself? And it stars the same guy from Bates Motel, who I guess is just playing these very socially inept characters at this point. He played Norman Bates, and now he's playing an autistic doctor. Very, very good career to start this fucking dude out. A star of 2 pretty successful TV shows. But in the show, he fucking knocks it out of the park, this guy. But we will get to that. I want to get the synopsis a little bit farther out of the way. When we get into the show, the first kind of arc is him adjusting, him kind of coming into this hospital, learning the ways, learning the ropes. You know, a lot of people are butting heads with him because of who he is. And he's, you know, struggling. He can't even fucking get to work on time. It's not acting like he's just gonna wow everyone and he's gonna be this master doctor. It's kind of like he's an anomaly who fucks up a lot, but he also does really good in some areas, which kind of says something about autism in general, which is, you know, I wish it kind of went more, because I am very fascinated with autism. Kind of wish I kind of understood how their brain works. I kind of do with all people, you know, like everyone's brain is fucking different. There's chemicals everywhere. There's environment, products of our environment, etc. But like, if you throw autism in there and make them a doctor, that's a very interesting case study, and it is playing out before us. In this, like I said in the story, the first couple of episodes are him adjusting, and then by the end of the first season, everyone kind of just tolerates how fucking weird he is and how inept he is at times. Like with patients, he doesn't seem to give a fucking shit what he says to them. It's kind of like he'll get stuck in like one way, like, oh, we shouldn't lie to our patients, so I'm gonna tell this guy that his fucking wife is dying and stuff like that. Like, oh, your daughter who's having this harmless surgery could possibly die and have a stroke and all these other things. It's like, Sean, my boy, like, chill the fuck out. Keep it simple. So that's basically how the show plays out. And during all this, during Sean's arc, which he also has this big arc where he deals with his mentor, who's like kind of a father figure and also a best friend all in one. They have a very interesting relationship, and all the other doctors who are like part of this main cast, we got romances here and there. We got characters dealing with family issues, which Sean, by the way, has this small little romance. On top of that, like, there's a lot of I'm still trying not to spoil anything. There is a lot of arcs, like, with characters in like episodic like little chunks. Like, a character will have a patient who will like, they'll see themselves in this patient in some form, and like whatever this one certain patient is going through, they'll have like their own growth from that. Like, watching people die and do all these things that doctors must go through, which I can't even imagine, like the shit that goes through their heads like on a daily basis. They gotta shove their fingers up dudes' assholes, and then the next hour they gotta do fucking brain surgery. I can't imagine it. But we see a lot of that in the show, just how taxing this fucking job could be, how mentally like on your fucking game you gotta be if you're working here. These relationships are so like business, like there's a lot of like authority being pushed around, a lot of people power tripping, people throwing their weight around, and it all just kind of ends up like this very business style of talking, but like there's so much emotion in there. Certain characters I like a little bit better than others. Sean, I think, is probably my favorite just because how weird he is. You know, he's the most interesting. And a lot of these like episodic characters are really good too. We'll have like a character who like just wants to die. We'll have a character who's from prison and he's trying to give his heart to or one of his organs. He's gonna die and give his organ to like a child, but like there's one doctor who's like an ex-cop, and he doesn't believe him. So it's like this whole mixed dichotomy. And then we got like, oh, this person is committing identity theft, but she's also, you know, trying just to survive. She's just stealing someone's identity to survive. So it's like, there's so much moral dilemmas in this show. Every episode kind of seems to not have an answer, but like really show you the sides of every coin. Especially with these like games of life and death. And Sean specifically, I don't think this is a spoiler, it's his backstory. His brother died when he was really young, and he's always wanted to help people because of that. And to see him kind of juggle like life, like he's trying to be strategical as possible about it, but there's so many areas where you need human touch, and that's kind of like his big obstacle, is learning that like humanness, because he's a very by the books kind of guy. Like he just studies fucking doctor books all the time or something. And now that he's actually in the field, he's like, oh shit, reading books doesn't solve all my problems, but I'm gonna make it try. And little things like there's a person who's gender fluid and he doesn't know what the fuck's going on there. Like he's learning things as he's being a doctor. And this show, by the way, does not hold back on showing you some gross ass fucking scenes where they're doing surgery. I normally, for shows, like, if there's something gross, I can keep watching. If it's like amateur footage or footage of real shit, I don't want to look at that. I look away right away. But there were so many scenes. I don't know if they had real footage. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but there was some nasty ass fucking scenes in this show. I think I don't know if there was real footage in there or not, but there were some scenes that looked way too real for me to keep looking. Like when they have people's fucking faces cut open, and people's fucking like they're like hand deep in their stomachs. It's fucking gross. I'm not trying to see that. Nuh-uh. I'm good. I'm trying to remember some of these other characters' names. The ones who are like minor characters, because I'm not as familiar with them. I'm on the fucking Wikipedia page. I'll just go by their descriptions. There's this one girl who's like super bitchy, and she's kind of just like the most blunt person ever. Because she's like a character will be like almost getting fired, and she'll be like, "Ah, you're on your way out. Who fucking gives a shit?" Or like, she's, I can't even describe how much she like pisses me off. But like at the end of the day, she's kind of like, she'll destroy social barriers and not give a fuck. I like her, but at the same time just hate her so much. Their kind of leader, their leading doctor, I don't know what the word would be for that, is kind of generic. He has like this relationship thing that's going on. That's kind of his big art. He's kind of just very stern, strong-willed. He makes up his mind and tries to stick with it. Like there are times I like the progression. Like towards the beginning, he was trying to just kind of bully Sean, and like his ideas don't make sense. But then Sean has a couple of good ideas, and it's like he learns. And there's kind of like this actual relationship by the end of the show. Same with all the other doctors. From the beginning of the season to the end, all the relationships are different. They've all kind of flipped upside down. And Sean, at the end of the season, it's like, oh, it's like when you work at a place long enough and you're like an official member of the crew. Like, I've been here long enough. I'm not like the newest guppy in the pond. I'm seasoned. I'm seasoned. There's a lot I feel like I could talk about with this show, but there's so many things I need to record today. The first season, it felt kind of like this is like a show that's gonna branch off a lot a bit, but at the same time, it's trying to pack a lot of things into these episodes that I feel like the whole show could just kind of ride the same momentum that has been going on. Like every episode, it's like, okay, we got these new patients that are gonna teach us about life, and then Sean's gonna do something, and then these other characters are gonna be going through their basic shit. Like even the season finale was kind of just like, okay, this is another episode, and really like there's no like big cliffhangers. Every episode kind of resolves itself, and that kind of makes it feel like, okay, do I need to watch another episode? It's the same thing I get with Black Mirror, where it's kind of like the story's over, so I don't need to keep watching, but I know that there's gonna be more addicting content, so let's proceed. I really like this show. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. The first episode, I felt it was kind of generic, but at the same time, it was introducing so much. Like a lot of TV shows are like that, where it's like, oh, we gotta introduce like 30 characters in 30 minutes, so yeah, let's just fucking do it. But I really like this show. If I had to give it like a rating, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10 for the first season. Loved it. Could have been better in some areas, but I enjoyed it. Anyway, guys, I have a lot to record today, so I'm going to get right on that. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed The Good Doctor. If you watched it, I'm going to watch the second season probably when it's done airing, and which is probably way after by the time you're watching this. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, until then, thank you for watching as always, and with that, I leave you.